Hi, Michael here from Atmanjai. Today you're going to hear from Rory Byrne. Rory completed a program at Atmanjai 9 months ago. Some of you may recognize his name. He's well known as the designer of 7 Formula One World Championship winning cars. In addition, he's a chemical engineer. So this is a man who's accustomed to working at the cutting edge to achieve outstanding results while operating within very clear safety parameters, much like we do at Atmanjai. I asked Rory 3 questions. Firstly, what was happening in your body at the time you came to Atmanjai? Why did you come, and what were the results you were hoping to get from the program? Let's hear from Rory.
Okay, well, about a year ago, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, Gleason level 6. My conventional medical options were either prostate removal or radioactive iodine seed implant, which I think is called brachytherapy. I was also advised that really my condition was such that I could monitor it closely and not have any intervention at that stage. Having experienced that, I started to do my own research on the causes of cancer and really what alternative options there were to curing cancer. And really there were, I would say, the majority of the alternative options were fundamentally proposing the same thing. As I say fundamentally, and that's detoxify the body and change your lifestyle to enable your immune system to fight the cancer. That was the fundamental that came across in general. I did quite a bit of research both on the internet, read some literature specific to prostate cancer and cancer in general, and having done the research and also looked at what detox programs were available, I was very fortunate to discover that Atmanjai did a detox program, and they were basically just 10 minutes from my home in Phuket. As I say, that was very fortunate. So I signed up for a 10-day program in January. Before I started the program, I discussed the program and my objectives with Michael Massey, the Managing Director, and on his advice, I undertook a 5-week pre-detox diet before starting the program. I completed the 10-day program, and really without any problem. It was a fairly comprehensive program, and kept me pretty well occupied from 7 in the morning till about 6 or 7 at night. At the end of the program, I then went on to a post-detox diet that was proposed by Atmanjai. A week, I'll just explain a little bit about why I discovered that I had cancer. I have regular medical checkups, annual checkups, and over the past several years, my PSA, that's my prostate-specific antigen, had been increasing gradually. It was 1.7, and the next year it was 2.7, next year 3.6, next year 4.3. And when it went over 4, that's when I had a biopsy done to check whether I had cancer. So before I started the program, I went to one of the local hospitals here, and I had a PSA check done, and my PSA was 4.7. A week after the program, I went to the same hospital and had a PSA test done, and my PSA had already dropped to 3.6. About 3 months after that, there was towards the end of April, I had another PSA test done, and my PSA was 2.9. At the end of June, I had a further test done, and my PSA was down to 2.6. So my PSA has been gradually reducing over the past 9 months. As a PSA is not an absolute indicator of the level of cancer, but certainly this reduction in the PSA level is a very strong indication that the cancer's on the back foot and in recession. So basically, as far as achieving my objectives is concerned, my short-term objective after the detox was, I think, was clearly achieved in terms of reduction in PSA, and ongoing, the program that Atmanjai proposed is working because my PSA is continuing to drop. Apart from that, I've had a number of absolutely undeniable positive benefits. So I'll explain some of them. About nearly 40 years ago, I picked up a fungus infection between my toes at a swimming pool in the UK, and I've never been able to get rid of it. I've had to treat it with antifungal creams, but I've never been able to get rid of it. And about 3 weeks after I'd completed the detox program, it had disappeared completely. And it hasn't, I've had no recurrence at all. And I use no antifungal creams or anything anymore, and it's completely healed up. The other little issue I had was I had some signs of arthritis in my left knee, especially in the Italian winter. I used, for the last couple of years, I've had a problem, particularly when I'm sat at a desk or sat with my knees bent for an hour or so. When I get up and try to walk, I'd be hobbling for about 5 minutes before the joint freed up enough to start walking. Now, once I'd completed the program, that symptom had completely disappeared. But of course, I had an open mind. I mean, this was Phuket, 30-degree ambient. You know, I thought, well, when I return to Italy in February, that's going to be really the acid test as to whether my arthritis has improved or not. And to be honest, from that day onwards, I've had absolutely no sign of arthritis in my knee at all. No symptom whatsoever. Another few signs of improvement in that direction is for the last 20 years, I've been a keen cricketer all my life, but for the last 20 years I've not been able to throw a cricket ball because the action of straightening, jerking my elbow straight was really painful. So I ended up having to bowl the ball in. When I was throwing a ball into the wicketkeeper, for instance, I ended up having to bowl the ball in because I had to keep my elbow straight. Now, since my program at Atmanjai, that symptom has completely disappeared. I went over to the UK mid-June, and I played in a couple of cricket matches there, and no problem at all to throw a cricket ball for the first time in 20 years. There are a number of similar sort of signs. My physiotherapist that I go to once a week to do joint articulation and muscle stretching says my joint articulation has improved tremendously since the detox program, and I can now, without bending my knees, I can touch the ground with my fingers, you know, touch the ground in front of my feet with my fingers. So I know my articulation has improved. So in addition to reducing my PSA level, I've had all these other benefits. and really I've had no negative effects at all. I'm now about 6 kilos lighter than I was when I started the program, really, my athletic ability, if anything, has improved, and perfectly healthy. I've been in perfect health since I left Atmanjai 9 months ago.